I'm Mark Sardella. Today is May 28, 2008, and this is Local Energy News. We are bringing you news from around the world with a focus on efforts to build local self-reliance in energy. Each week, we will tell you about policies and practices that help or inhibit your community's efforts to create more democratic energy systems. First, the news. Facility managers for rural schools and other public buildings in rural communities are preparing to take bids for the propane they will need for the next heating season, and there could be some surprises. Propane prices on wholesale markets are about 50% higher than they were 1 year ago. Propane is a byproduct of petroleum refining, so the difficulties with increasing the petroleum supply are also limiting propane production. This ensures that price volatility for the fuel will continue and that alternatives such as local biomass heating will become increasingly competitive. Toshiba Corporation announced yesterday that it has signed a deal to provide 2 nuclear power reactors to the United States. The reactors, slated for installation in South Carolina, will be built by Toshiba's subsidiary Westinghouse Corporation, which Toshiba purchased 2 years ago for $5.4 billion. It's the second such deal for Toshiba in recent weeks. Last month, the company signed a similar deal to provide 2 of its AP1000 reactors to a site in Waynesboro, Georgia. The U.S. Nuclear Regulatory Commission approved the design of the AP1000 reactor in 2004. Both projects are seeking site approval from the NRC. Last year, the NRC granted its first site approval for a nuclear power plant in 30 years, clearing Exelon Generation to build a plant in central Illinois. With 11 operating reactors, Illinois has the largest nuclear industry of any state in the U.S. It is the home of presidential hopeful Barack Obama, who has stated that he believes nuclear energy should be in the mix if we can make it safe. The Washington Post reported recently that Obama has accepted campaign contributions totaling more than $150,000 from donors who identify themselves as Exelon employees. As we enter a time of increasing energy scarcity and mounting pressure on our overheated environment, it's a good time to take a deep breath and ask the question, what do we hope to see in our energy future? Most of us will cite renewable energies as the key, or reduced emissions of carbon dioxide, or perhaps we want greater independence from foreign oil. But even these visions have recently given rise to some questionable efforts, such as the push to build giant transmission corridors to access distant wind resources. Recently, we have even seen an increased willingness to take a fresh look at nuclear power. But there's another vision for our energy future that doesn't lead to such bizarre results. Instead, it leads to stronger, more self-reliant communities. It reaffirms local sovereignty over energy resources, allowing communities to decide for themselves how they will meet their energy challenges. The vision I'm speaking of is an energy democracy. In an energy democracy, the focus shifts away from technology and towards people. Decisions about energy are based more on how they empower communities and provide opportunities for civic participation. If this sounds too theoretical, consider all the ways that our current energy system has disempowered us. We say that we live in a democracy, yet we depend almost entirely on corporations located outside our communities to provide our energy needs. Democracy begins within our communities, so it is within them that we must re-empower ourselves by recreating the ability to provide for our energy. And there are practical ways to begin that process. Taking local ownership of the electric power system opens up the potential to use feed-in tariffs to favor local independent generators of energy. District heating systems can similarly empower local thermal energy providers. And small-scale biofuel production can be done locally without putting the stress on food production systems that we have seen when biofuel experiments are attempted on an industrial scale. For more on applying democratic principles to energy systems, check out our website at localenergynews.org. I'm Mark Sardella. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week.